All right, hello everyone. Now it's time for part one of owner operator, like the process from when you call them and tell them you're interested to the point of them sending you the lists of or the list of trucks. So initially, when I got rehired, they didn't have the updated experience because my new recruiter um, actually updated my experience. So now it shows over a year, as it should. Um, so when they got that update, they actually called me back. I told them that I was interested and I would like information sent to me. They send it to your email. Once they send that to your email, you kind of go over it, which just basically tells you like what they cover in full, what they don't cover at all, because I'm doing the MRP, and then what they cover at 80%, and then the 20% is what you have to cover. And then because it's the MRP, which is the maintenance repair program, if your truck is within a certain mileage, it's 8 cents per mile. If it goes into the next 100,000 range, it's 9 cents per mile. Next 100,000 range, it's 10 cents, and then I think it goes up to 11 or 12 cents per mile, somewhere around there. Um, so essentially, they send you that, and then it kind of goes over your rate per mile. It's around 80 to 85 cents per mile if you are empty, and then $1.36 per mile loaded, down to around $1.20 per mile for miles that are like, I think it's 1,000 or more. And for owner ops, at least for me, is going to be OTR. I'm not going to do regional, just because I'd like to take home time in California. I'd like to take home time in North Carolina, Oregon, and Michigan, because that's where all my family are. They're all over the U.S. So I'd like to have the option to go way out west, way out east, and northeast. Well, it's Eastern time zone, not really Northeast too much. It's more Midwest, but Midwest slash Northeast essentially. So that's why I picked OTR. But I believe you could also do regional and flatbed. I believe as well. They do flatbed because Swift has a flatbed, so there should be a flatbed. Um, but yeah, OTR is what I'm doing. So that's the pay, and then they also have like a breakdown on like what your fixed expenses are, and then they have varying expenses that they don't really give you a number. It would be nice if they gave you a low to max, like the low. This is the lowest the driver pays. This is the highest the driver pays, and then you just pick a number dead in the middle, and you say, okay, that's probably what I'm going to be paying. Um, but they don't. And then you have like things like windshield insurance, and I believe even a tire insurance, but I'm not sure on that one. I believe that's what I saw on there. And then you have a couple other things as well. The windshield insurance is like $3.50 a week. It's not that bad. I will probably opt into that one just purely because if my windshield breaks, $3.50 a week to get it replaced for me, I'll do that. Um, so it essentially just breaks down everything, at least for mine, which is the MRP, maintenance repair program. And then they, after that, they have you call them. When you call them, you tell them, hey, I went through the list of things you gave, like the PDF documents they give you, and I'm interested. So in my case, I went over it, my girlfriend went over it, and we both said, yeah, that sounds like a good deal. Um, they said the average people make on a settlement is 1,800. It's not the greatest in the world, but I mean, it's more than I'm making as a company driver right now. I could go somewhere else and make that much being a company driver, but I kind of like it here, so I don't see why I would leave. Um, anyway, so they go over that. Then when you call them, they're like, all right, when you tell them you're interested still, they're like, okay. And then they tell you the next step, which the next step is them scheduling a on the phone appointment with a girl or a man. Let me turn this down real quick. With a girl or a man, and essentially what it is going over budgeting. So it's like, what is your fixed expenses outside of the truck? What are your varying expenses, like an estimate? And like, what will you be paying per week, essentially? Like, break that down per week. So mine per month is like some month. Well, it's usually around 800. It could go up to 1250, 13, 14, 1500, depending on different circumstances, like if I rearranged a payment or something like that, because I do that kind of often, just to disperse like payments to different checks, because I have a 14-day grace period. And if I'm like, okay, I get paid this Friday, I'll move a payment to that Friday. So then it's not two big payments on one check, it's two big payments on two checks. So then I still have some cushion money. So then by the time I get paid again, I still have money. Uh, and then after that, as long as your expenses are not insanely high per week, like like the average they go off of is 2,100 miles, which is roughly 1,800. They said for 2,100. There's owner operators that I know that do 3,000, 3,500 miles in a week, so it could go up to over 2,000. Anyway, if you have low expenses like me, because my weekly expenses are like 200, 250, something like that. If you break down the monthly into weekly, so I mean, it's not that big of an issue. Then you move on, and then the truck you selected from the list, they then schedule you to get to that terminal. Get to the terminal from your dispatcher, so which is your driver leader. He'll dispatch you to the terminal that truck is at, and then you pick up that truck, essentially. I'm going to select a Kenworth. I don't know what they have available right now 100%. They still have to send everything. I believe they still have another list of trucks. It was kind of close to the end of the day, but there's a Kenworth that I'm eyeing right now. The only thing I have to do is see if it has a fridge. So what they're going to do, if you have a special request, like I want a fridge, I have to have a fridge. That's what the phone is sitting on right now, is my fridge. I want that. I want a fridge. So I told them, like, that's a requirement for me. They're like, okay, that's fine. Most 2020 or newer trucks already have a fridge, so we'll have a mechanic or whoever check for you, see if there's a fridge in there. I'll have someone personally check. Well, that's what I'm gonna have done, and then you essentially get a load there. But I'll give more on that when I actually get to that point. Right now, I'm at the point of getting the truck selection. So yeah, that's the process so far for owner operator. Thank you for watching.